Welcome back to Memories Dogma, everybody. I left you with a cliffhanger about what time it was. Apparently that is a very shocking thing to the protagonist here. We're going to find out right now. When I look at it, my heart starts to beat faster. Again.
どうしたの?
When Rena asks, I just show her my MRD.
またエリアシンクだ。
Oh my god. Oh my god. There's the unmistakable notification on my MRD that I've received an area sync data file. But...
それはまた私からなの?
いや、発信者は不明になった。
It's anonymous. Rena and Sona both look at each other. An anonymous sender. It has to have been someone who knew I'd come here. But who? I feel a little apprehensive. Who wouldn't, right? I take a deep breath and bring up the image file I was sent. When I do, we all see.
これは
Who's that? It's a picture of the inside of a room. The room's only dimly lit, but I can make out a few bookshelves lined up against the wall. In addition, I recognize the interior layout.
駅ビルの書店か。
Oh. There's a few stores near Fuji Station. One of them is a bookstore. I've been there a few times on the way back from school.
ねえ、ここ。
Rena points to the center part of the picture. I can vaguely make out the shape of a person. Oh my god. It's Aoi. Oh my god. I zoom in to get a better view and realize this person is a woman and her eyes are downcast. I strain my eyes to try and make out who it is, and when I recognize them, I let out an involuntary gasp. I can't make out her expression, but it's definitely her. It's Aoi-san.
お姉ちゃん、私にも見せて。
Sona and Rena both look at the picture in shock.
お姉ちゃん、動けないのかな?
手足を縛られているようにも見えるな。
まさか怪我をしてるなんてこと。
I hope not.
この画像からはそこまではわからないわね。無事であることを願いたいけど。
They don't say anything, but I can tell Rena and Sona are thinking about the worst case scenario. Oh man.
とにかく早く助けに行かないと。
Exactly, we have to get the hell out of here. I exchange glances with Rena and we both nod. Either way, we can hardly just sit here waiting for those men to leave. Even if we left for the station now, it would be night before we make it. I delete the picture and stand up. We're about to head out towards the station when Serena calls out to us. Well, what are we gonna do? We have to go.
まあ、明らかに罠だと思う。
Obviously, it's a trap, but can't just leave her. And I highly doubt they'll just return Aoi-san if we walk up to them and ask them nicely.
でも、あれだけ世話になった葵さんを放っておけない。
Exactly.
それに、この誘いに乗る以外に、俺たちに打つ手はないんだ。
Judging by Serona's responses, there's no more information we can get out of here anyway. In that case, our only clue is the picture. It's obviously dangerous to jump headfirst in a trap like this, but at the same time, we might be able to get some information this way. We have to be prepared to make some sacrifices.
空野が俺に託してくれた今を無駄にしたくないんだ。だから危険だと分かってても
We gotta go.
俺はここへ行くことを選びたい。
そっか。
Serona looks down, seemingly at a loss for what to say. Eventually, she looks back at us with a serious gaze.
絶対に無理はしないって約束して。ヒロ君とレイナちゃんにまた会えること、私信じてるから。
You know, I don't think it's possible not to be reckless. Besides, the amount of time Serona has left is dwindling fast. I can't even guarantee we'll meet again.
分かった。約束する。
However, I make that promise regardless. Because I too hope that we can meet again. We all hope that we can meet again.
約束だよ。また会おうね。
あ。
I look into Serona's eyes and then cut the connection. Serrano's faint smile gets sucked in the MRD with the rest of her. I nod.
守れる保証のない約束はしない方がいいと思うけど。
Rina mutters quietly, but I pretend I didn't hear her and say nothing more. Rina also replies with a simple yeah, and our conversation ends. Then we head off towards the station. Oh man. While mixing in with the crowd of people going to the festival, we make our way to Fuchu Station. We push our way through the throng and sneak past the police guarding the blockaded street. Unlike the main street, this area is practically deserted. I mean, it is blockaded after all. Remaining alert, Arena and I climb the half-destroyed stairs leading to the station building. The familiar station plaza looks completely different now. Because of the blast, many of the station's buildings are in ruins, and fragments of broken glass and concrete are strewn about everywhere.
ひどい光景ね。
Is indeed. The small event stage I saw 3 days ago has been blown apart. Lighting equipment and machinery scattered everywhere.
あれから片付けられていないんだな。
まだ現場検証をしているところなのかも。
I make sure that the station entrance is still open. There's yellow tape around it, but the door itself is now locked.
俺が先に行く。
先客がいる可能性が高い。気をつけて。
I nod and part the yellow tape. I slip through the station door. Once I'm inside, I use my MRD's flashlight to illuminate the area. The ticketing area is as silent as the grave, as most of the stores have their shutters closed. Looking around, I don't see anyone. I call out to Rina.
ひとまずは大丈夫だ。
Once Rina's made it inside as well, we head off to the bookstore further in. Normally the station will be brightly lit and packed with people on their way home around this time. Now the lights and air conditioning are both off, and the air inside is lukewarm.
当たり前だけど、みんな急いで逃げたのね。
There's a number of pastries just left lying out in the open at a bakery I used to go to sometimes. Some of them have even fallen to the ground. You can see a number of toppled shelves through the window of the convenience store that sits across the bakery. Seeing the disorderly state everything is in, it's obvious just how much chaos there must have been when the explosion occurred. Seeing this much devastation amidst the deathly silence is just eerie.
ここだけ何百年も経った後の世界みたいだ。
As we keep going, my eyes steadily adjust to the darkness. I just hope there's no one hiding in the shadows. I hope no one tries to sneak on us from behind. I strain my senses in all directions as I continue onwards. Is Aoi-san really here? Still harboring doubts, we arrive in front of the bookstore that was in the picture. The shutters are drawn across the bookstore on all sides, but the shutter on the front of the store is half open.
明らかに不自然な開き方
And the
だな。
lights are on too. Interesting. The store is dimly lit. The fact that only this area is lit up is clearly suspicious. But if Aoi-san really is in there, I have to go in.
レーナは外で待ってろ。
いいえ、私も一緒に行く。
Looks like Rina's already stilled her resolve too. She wants to save Aoi just as much as I do, so, you know. Use all the help we can get here. Even if I try to stop her, she'll just go anyway.
なら、いつでも逃げられる準備だけはしておいてくれ。
大丈夫。足手まといにはならないから。
そういうことじゃなくて、俺がフォローできるかどうかが。
ありがとう。分かってる。心配しないで。
Rina lightly pats my shoulder.
わかった。じゃあ、入るぞ。
Let's go. I bend down and walk under the shutter. Lights in the bookstore are on. Well, normally that's supposed to be the case. However, there's some shelves that have toppled over and stacks of books that have crumbled that make it clear that something's wrong here.
確か、葵さんが映っていたのは。
If I recall correctly, the place where Aoi-san had been in the picture was the bestseller corner in the center of the store. There was always a sign there highlighting the top-selling manga, books, and weekly magazines. Rena and I cautiously make our way over there. However, I always saying is not there, as dictated by the empty spot on the screen.
くそ、ここじゃないのか。
他の場所も探してみましょう。
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I start frantically searching the other aisles, but she's not in the business section or the classical literature section, or the paperback section. I don't see her anywhere.
あの画像、俺の勘違いだったのか。
いいえ、確かにこの書店で間違いないはずよ。少なくともあの画像が送られてきた時点では。
Uh-oh. Everything goes dark.
なんだ。
What's going on? I hurriedly turn on my Marty's flashlight. I can only faintly make out the inside of the store. Suddenly a large shadow appears before us. You son of a bitch. As if coming out of the shadows, he appears before us once more. When did he manage to get in here? I step forward to confront him, putting myself between him and Rena.
Sigma.
Yeah, we know who you are now. I call him by the name they gave him in the report, and he raises an eyebrow.
Oh, どこかで知ったらしいな。
None of your business.
だが、そんなものはただの記号に過ぎない。
記号？
俺にとってはこれっぽっちの意味も持たないということだ。
Sigma looks down at us with cold eyes.
葵さんはどこだ？
どうして俺がそれを教える必要がある？
画像を送ってきたのはあなたじゃないの？
画像？
So you don't know anything about it.
そうか。そんな風に貴様たちは誘い出されたということか。それを信じ込むとは、つくづく単純でバカな脳をしているのだな。
なんだと。
Aoi's not here. Then where is she? I'm pretty sure Sigma knows.
それよりも、
Sigma takes a step towards us.
今日こそ貴様の本当の力を見せてもらえるのだろう。
は？
しらばっくれるな。俺はそれだけを楽しみにやってきたのだからな。話はそれからだ。
Man, I am not in the mood. Damn it. The moment he finishes speaking, Sigma kicks off the ground, closes the distance between us in an instant, swings his arm horizontally at me. Feels like Sigma's blade is leaving after images in the darkness. I reflexively grab Rena and push us both to the ground. A second later, I hear a blade fly right above my head. The strength of his swing is so great, it feels like it gouged out the very air he cut. If I'd just been a second too late, my head wouldn't have been attached to my shoulders anymore. A chill runs down my spine.
ねえだ、こっちだ。
His voice comes from directly in front of us. The next instant, as if he'd always been there, a huge shadow appears in front of us. It's Sigma, who has supposed to have vanished. Well, appears isn't the only word that does it justice. He is literally just there now. His sadistic eyes bore into me.
いつの間に。
残念だな。貴様の浅知恵などお見通しだ。
As he says that, Sigma slashes his right arm down diagonally. His blade whistles as it cuts through the dark, stagnant air.
レナ、避けろ。
I grab Rena and dive to the right. His blade grazes my cheek. Once again, if I'd hesitated even a second longer, I would be dead. Chills run down my spine again. Sigma scoffs at me, who's lying on the floor now.
貴様がそんなざまじゃ面白くないじゃないか。ほら、どうした？
Sigma spreads both arms wide as if to say, come on.
くそ。奴のあの動きは何なんだよ。
Looks like he's practically teleporting. I don't know how he's doing it, but at this rate, we're gonna be in serious trouble.
くそ。
I pushed myself off the ground and rushed at him. I remember that feeling of heat welling up within me before. I tried to call it back again. I tried to recreate that sensation in my mind. That tingly, throbbing feeling where even my sight was burning. But...
なんだその動きは。
Sigma swings his right arm lazily as if he's swatting a fly. If my power was actually working, I'd be able to easily dodge a swing like that and close in on him. But it's not. I stop and take a step back. I'm lucky that Sigma didn't put any strength behind his swing, it's so slow. His blade brushes past my nose. I felt the wind created by his slash flow past my cheeks. The current me can't see Sigma's attacks, can't read them, and can't react to them. To top it off, if I lose my balance and fall to the ground.
無様だな。貴様はその程度ではないだろう。本気を見せてみろ。
Sigma spreads his arms again. I still can't use my power properly. This is bad. This is really bad. This is bad. This is really bad. I don't care what happens to me, but I can't let Rena die. That's the one thing I will not allow. Do I have no choice but to try suicidal rush against him? I hurriedly try and stand back up and Rena grabs my arm to stop me. She leans close to my ear and whispers.
ヒロキ、あんな挑発に乗っちゃダメよ。奴は強い。正面から戦っても勝てる相手じゃないわ。
でもこのままじゃ。
諦めろなんて言ってない。
She says quietly but firmly, and I finally come back to my senses.
一旦引くというのも手の一つよ。ここは不利。外に出ましょう。
Yeah, Rena's right. I can't panic, I need to calm down. I can't let myself get dragged into his pace. Sigma wants me to attack him. He's just staring at me with his arms spread wide. While keeping Sigma's attention on me, I look around the store's interior, aided by the light coming from my MRD. There's only one way out. The half-open shutter we came in through. If we want to escape the store, it's gonna have to be through there. However, Sigma is currently blocking our way there. The distance from here to the entrance is only 7 meters, but that's too far for us.
外に出るためにはあのシャッターまで行くしかない。けどどうやって。
大丈夫。ヒロキは私を引っ張って全力で走って。
おい、何をこそこそと話してる。
Rita takes a magazine from the fallen bookshelf. What is she planning?
来ないのならこっちから行くぞ。
走って。
Run! Reina's, that's a Reina's, y'all, acts as the trigger for me to start sprinting. I take Reina's hand and push off against the ground hard. Because of how sudden our dash is, Sigma is a second late to respond. However, he quickly raises his right arm and slashes down as we charge past. His powerful stroke sends the nearby books flying as a storm of paper whirls around us. Reina throws the magazine she picked up at Sigma. The light and large bundle of A4 paper flips open as it's thrown, and in doing so blocks Sigma's field of view. Sigma instinctively tries to defend against the object thrown at him. He pulls his hand back and slashes apart the magazine thrown at him. The blade parts the magazine in half like a knife through hot butter. The edge of his blade is frighteningly sharp. Barely moved his arm and yet it's easily sliced through the magazine. However, because he stopped to cut it down, we were able to find an opening. Take advantage of that opening and run past Sigma. However, Sigma quickly follows up with another attack. He quickly realizes what we tried to do and turns his upper body to swing his arm down on us again. For some reason, his dark blade gleams in the gloom. But even I could see that attack coming. I ducked down and raced across the ground off fours like some kind of animal. The blade passes safely over my head. Though it does take a few of my hairs with it. It's okay, I needed a haircut anyway. With this, I'm sure to be able to make it through and run full speed past him. I run straight for the shutter. Right before I reach the shutter, I pull Rena's hand as hard as I can and throw her in front of me. Rena instantly realizes what I'm trying to do. She keeps going full speed towards the shutter and somersaults herself through the gap. She tumbles on the floor outside. Enraged at being toyed with like this, Sigma's expression twists into one of anger and chases after us. I frantically look around my surroundings. I spot a dictionary on the ground nearby. Perfect. I swiftly pick it up and throw it at him. Just before Sigma can close the gap between us, the dictionary hits him square in the stomach. Sigma's rage had blinded him into a headlong rush, so he was unable to dodge it. The force of his own charge makes the dictionary's impact all the more powerful and deals a serious blow to him. He collapses on the floor. Nowhere near a fatal blow, but it should give us enough time to escape. I quickly duck through the shutter. Ooh, barely made it out of there. Rena runs over to me with a worried expression on her face. To get the hell out of here. The two of us entwine our hands again. We start running for the station entrance. What do you want to hide? She points towards the soup store. That's true. I see, this might not be a bad way to buy some time. The automatic door to the soup store is slightly ajar. I guess since electricity isn't working anymore, we'll have to push it the rest of the way. I'll wrap my fingers around the door and wrench it open. Once we're inside, I close the automatic door behind us. The wall facing out the hallway is entirely made of glass, so it'd be too easy to see inside. And the table chairs are also a bad idea since he can just see us through the gaps in the tables. But what about the bar area? We run over to the bar. Oh, I need a drink. There's ladles, dishes, a chopping board, and a knife all scattered around. All signs of just how much of a panic there must have been when the explosion happened. Making sure not to step on anything sharp, I crouch down and hide myself behind the bar. Oh yeah, good idea. Rena covers my inward with both her hands as she whispers. I turn off my flashlight, leaving the emergency light at the entrance to the sole remaining source of illumination. It gives off a dull light, barely brightening the room at all. The darkness in the station is so dense it feels like it could crush me. The sound of Rena breathing softly next to me serves to remind me that I'm not alone. I quietly muttered to Rena, trying to shake off my uneasiness. It's like Sigma's able to teleport now. He's there 1 second, gone the next. His movements are just too fast. I'm not sure if it's because it's too dark to see him properly or if it's... Rena nods silently. His special skill. I still haven't been able to figure out how to use mine, but he's already mastered his. There's a massive difference in skill between us. I let out a small sigh. And a moment later I hear it. Hear what? Well, we're gonna find out the next episode of Memories Dogma. Have a good day, guys.